this was briefly announced, or at least touched upon in the fall. I think we touched upon it in the podcast at the time about YouTube thinking about having a subscription service, a monthly subscription service where people could pay to watch YouTube ad-free. And officially came out today that, yeah, it's going to happen later this year. And it was the way I found out about it. Was the way I guess most people found out about it, that if you're a partner, you guys send an email saying, here's the updated terms of service, and this is what's coming. Then it got reported. So what's going to happen is, they haven't said when exactly, but they're going to require that if you're on YouTube, you have to agree to new terms of service for when this gets put into place, which will be probably earliest this summer. And we're not sure what the amount will be. So what's going to happen then is, if you pay this subscription fee, you can watch YouTube ad-free, which is a cool idea. It gives you a choice.
Well, it only makes sense. I mean, YouTube is becoming TV for so many people. There are lots of friends that I talk to who, when I ask them what they're doing tonight, it's not I'm watching Netflix or I'm watching TV. It's I'm watching YouTube. So it only makes sense to give them a subscription service that would give them no ads. Now, obviously, Hulu has ads, but something like Netflix at least has the decency to not bombard you. Yeah. So
we're going to approach this first. Is this a smart move for YouTube? Oh, definitely a smart move for YouTube. Yeah. Because there are people that, I'm not going to get into a whole ad block debate about whether or not I think it's right to use it. I think it's kind of shitty if you use ad block.
Well, we've already had that debate, and I think we both fell on the side of shitty.
So for those people that say one of their biggest complaints is that ads are intrusive or they fuck up your browser, this is a chance to put your money where your mouth is. And okay, you've been getting this free content using ad block. Just pay the whatever amount per month to not see the ads, and then you can support the producers. It's also a good idea for YouTube because, well, I'm going to predict this is going to range anywhere from $8 to $15 a month, somewhere in there.
Sure.
This is very, very smart for YouTube because the amount of ad revenue generated by one person a month by randomly watching YouTube ads is never going to come close to what they're paying monthly. Never going to come close. And all that money is going to go not to the advertisers that then YouTube has get a cut of ad, or Google after the fact. The money is going to go into YouTube's pocket and then split it with the producers directly. So everyone from that perspective wins. And this is the details from that, from the updated terms. YouTube will pay you meaning the YouTube producers, 55% of the total net revenues recognized by YouTube from subscription fees that are attributable to the monthly views or watch time of your content as percentage of the monthly views or watch time, blah, blah, blah. So basically, we're going to put all of the subscription dollars in a pot, figure out those subscription views, where have they gone to, and then evenly distribute it out, which just seems fair.
Yeah.
And then honestly, you know what? The producers win too, because then they're not splitting it. It looks like the money will come directly from Google to the YouTube producer. They don't have to split it through an MCN because the MCN has no basis, because MCNs provide you with getting, the ads on your videos. That's where they take a cut. Usually the standard is for them to take like 20% and you get 80. Here, they're not doing anything. So YouTube is just, you're sharing the money with Google directly, which I think is great. And let's be honest though, it's a good idea in theory, but I'm not sure how many people are going to actually do this, because YouTube's a much younger audience. And I think, hate to say it, the younger audience is used to this being quote unquote free content. They might not want to be able to pay for it anyway, or just use ad block. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not necessarily a younger audience, but I think so many people are used to the way that YouTube works that they've learned to deal with it, and why would they pay more for it? My other question is, if they're going to put all of this into a pot and divide it up, and it sounds like it does sound like it's more favorable to actual creators than say ad revenue. Where does this leave the multi-channel networks then? What do they get out of it?
In theory, I don't think they get anything, which they should be a little bit scared of this caught on by like wildfire, but I don't think it will though. If I had to predict how many people would actually do this, I'd say it'd be less than 10% of people on YouTube would do this.
Really?
You think it'd be more?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be high, but I think 10% is a low estimate.
Yeah, okay, well then, this is the reason why. Again, if the people that are using ad block will continue to use ad block, you won't get that many of them to convert over.
Fair.
And plus, it's not like, at least on paper, it's not like you're getting exclusive content like this is a Hulu Plus. However, though, say they do a range like sort of like Netflix, where you can have DVDs and streaming, just streaming. What if like $8 this gets you ad free, but then what if $15 a month gets you ad free and then plus exclusive YouTube content that they create just for these people? That might be something. They haven't. They've dabbled with it.
But then you would need those creators to be on board with this, and this is also kind of a...
Well, not necessarily, because it pays for itself. Because if YouTube creates their own content and they get a huge percentage...
Oh, you mean YouTube creating their own content?
YouTube creating their own exclusive content.
Like Netflix makes House of Cards.
Exactly.
Okay, sure.
They've dabbled in this before. There was a Julia Stiles series that came out, I want to say 3 years ago, where she played like an escort and dealing with that in her life. And
10 Things I Hate About You, man.
That was she an escort in that one, a high school escort?
No, it's just my favorite.
But anyway, so
movie.
It came out, and I guess YouTube discovered that we can't really make our money back because even if this thing gets 5 million views per episode, that's not going to cover production costs.
Sure,
it's not going to cover production costs, making back 5 or 10,000 per episode. That doesn't cover it.
But subscription and
this
then
would,
holding, yes,
because if they charge $15 a month, let's just say in theory, and then say 50% of the people get it just for that whatever that exclusive content tier. All the views or a ton of views from that pot will go towards that exclusive content. Right. And then it's still fair. YouTube's put up the money. They're getting it back through that. It's a smart way to do it. And I think you'll see that. Maybe you'll see, maybe it won't be $5 a month and then $8 and then 15 for exclusive. I like this idea a lot. Especially since it's not, YouTube will never be only subscription based because then they'll lose a huge chunk of their audience and then the whole thing would collapse under its own weight because it's based upon advertisers. Yeah. So there's a June 15th date, which just references when the terms of agreement will go into effect. So that means that's the earliest that this would actually happen, when that would be rolled out. But no, I think it's a great idea for everyone. The MCMs, they might be out of luck, the big MCMs, but again, I don't think they'll really feel the pinch. Because honestly, in terms of ad fill rates, it's not like every time you watch a YouTube video, you get an ad anyway. So YouTube's probably put that in consideration as well, that, well, we're going to, from those people anyway, they figured this out, YouTube. Google's not losing money on this, for sure. No. They figured out they're not going to lose money on this.
No.